हेलो हेलो। ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज में आप सभी का स्वागत है बच्चों। ये सीआरपीएफ के लिए और एसएससी के लिए काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट डिक्टेशन है। ये 80 WPM इंग्लिश 80 WPM डिक्टेशन है और इसमें टोटल जो वर्ड हैं वो हैं 817 वर्ड हैं और जो है 80 की स्पीड से मैं इसको पढ़ूंगा। ये वेबसाइट जो आपको दिख रही है ये स्क्रीन पर, इस पे आप जैसे मतलब जाकर के इसको टाइप करके अपनी एक्यूरेसी भी जान सकते हैं। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड। Soil, sometimes called dirt, is the combination of rock, mineral fragments, pieces, organic matter, dead and living things, water and air. It is mostly made up of grains of rock weathered by wind, rain, sun, snow, etc. and varying amounts of humus. The type of soil depends on the mix of humus and on the size of the grains of the rock. The grains can be very small and smooth, such as clay, or they can be larger, like grains of sand or even a piece of gravel. Soils are a place for plants to grow. Soils control the speed and the purity of water that moves through them. Soils recycle nutrients from dead animals and plants. Soils change the air that surrounds the earth, called the atmosphere. Soils are a place to live for animals, insects, and very small living things called microorganisms. Soils are the oldest and the most used building materials. The climate is very important when soil is made. Soil from different climates can have very different qualities. Soil is a natural body consisting of layers that are primarily composed of minerals which differ from their parent materials in their texture, structure, consistency, color, chemical, biological and other characteristics. It is the unconsolidated or loose covering of fine rock particles that covers the surface of the earth. Soil is the end product of the influence of the climate, temperature, precipitation, relief, slope, organisms, flora and fauna, parent materials, original minerals and time. In engineering terms, soil is referred to as regolith or loose rock material that lies above the solid geology. In horticulture, the terms soil is defined as the layer that contains organic material that influences and has been influenced by plant roots and may range in depth from centimeters to many meters. Soil is composed of particles of broken rock, parent materials which have been altered by physical, chemical and biological process that include weathering, disintegration with associated erosion movement. Soil is altered from its parent material by the interactions between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. It is a mixture of mineral and organic materials in the form of solids, gases, and liquids. Soil is commonly referred to as earth or dirt. Technically, the term dirt should be restricted to displaced soil. The mineral material from which a soil forms is called parent material. Rock, whether its origin is igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic, is the source of all soil mineral materials and origin of all plant nutrients, with the exceptions of nitrogen, hydrogen, and carbon. As the parent material is chemically and physically weathered, transported, deposited, and precipitated, it is transformed into a soil. Typical soil mineral materials are quartz. The organic soil matter includes all the dead plant materials and all creatures, live and dead. Most of the living things in soils are including plants, insects, bacteria, and fungi. Soils have varying organic compounds in varying degrees of decomposition. Organic matter holds soils open, allowing the infiltration of air and water, and may hold as much as twice its weight in water. Many soils, including desert and rocky gravel soils, have little or no organic matter. Soils that are all organic matter, such as peat, histosols, or infertile humus, refers to organic matter that has been decomposed by bacteria, fungi, and protozoa to the final point where it is resistant to further breakdown. Humic acids and fluvic acids, which begin as raw organic matter, are important constituents of humus. After the death of plants and animals, microbes begin to feed on the residues, resulting finally in the formation of humus. Humus formation is a process dependent on the amount of plant material added each year and the type of base soil. Both are affected by climate and the type of organisms present. Humus usually constitutes only 5% of the soil or less by volume, but it is an essential source of nutrients and adds important textural qualities crucial to soil health and plant growth. Humus also holds bits of undecomposed organic matter which feed arthropods and worms, which further improve the soil. The degradation of water soluble constituents contains cellulose, hemocellulose, and nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Humus has a high cation exchange capacity that on a dry weight basis is many times greater than that of clay collides. It also acts as a buffer like clay against changes in pH and soil moisture. Soil is classified into categories in order to understand relationships between different soils and to determine the suitability of a soil for a particular use. One of the first classification systems was developed by the Russian scientist Dokchu around 1880. It was modified a number of times by American and European researchers and developed into the system commonly used until the 1960s. It was based on the idea that soils have a particular morphology based on the materials and factors that form them. आठ 817 ये वर्ड थे बच्चों, और ये लगभग जो है 80 के आसपास ही पड़ी गई है। 80 से थोड़ा सा ऊपर मान सकते हैं, 80.6 कह सकते हो आप इसको। और वेबसाइट पे इसको लगा दिएगा, डिक्टेशन नंबर 14 है, वहाँ जाकर इसको आप टाइप कर सकते हो और जो है अपनी एक्यूरेसी जान सकते हो। इसका क्वेश्चन क्या है, एसएससी में सीनियर स्केल स्टेनो की क्या क्वालिफिकेशन रहेगी सर? सीनियर में ग्रेजुएशन मांग तो रखी है उन्होंने, और जो है 55% से ज़्यादा मार्क्स हो तो वो जो है उसके लिए फॉर्म अप्लाई कर सकता है। ओके, इस क्लास में इतना ही बच्चों।